All right.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
There's a big sign that comes up that says, "You are live." Hello, world. Hello, Kelley.
No, I'm looking to see if it's live on Facebook. I don't know how to know.
Well, I
Go to,
guess
go
here's the
to
deal. Yeah, I don't know either. I'm going to trust that it's live, and either way, it's being. Oh, and there is Susan. Can you see us? Can you see us, darling?
Is
Beautiful
it on
Susan.
Facebook, Susan? Well,
Yeah,
Susan's on Facebook.
yeah, cool.
Um, I
Yeah,
don't know how she's seeing it.
thanks.
Thanks.
It's, I mean, yeah, all right, we
If you
know.
say so, Susan.
Hi, Susan. Mwah. Big, big hugs and kisses to you today.
Yes, thank you for all of your support.
Yes, we are women. Hear us roar. It's time to come together. So, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. All right. All right. Let's rock and roll. So this is part two of our Empowered Chat series, and this is entitled Beyond Hot Flashes. So first and foremost, thanks to everybody who is viewing this replay or live. We are thrilled to have you. And because this is a mission that matters. Ooh, I like that. This is a mission that matters, right, Kelley? Like
It
this
is.
is, we just had the best conversation before we went live and decided that next time I need to record the chat before the live
The
chat.
chat
And
before the chat.
because it was so good. I'm like, women need to hear this, right? So,
Yeah.
all right. All right, for those of you that don't know me, I am Jen Orman. I'm a transformational life coach. I work with midlife women who are ready to discover their next act with confidence, with clarity. And my mission is simple. It's to help women shine brightly and to bring their unique gifts into the world with confidence, with clarity. And that requires feeling good in our mind and our body. It's literally the foundation of everything. I'm sure we would all agree. And this is one of the reasons I'm thrilled to bring back Kelley DeFilippis, because this is what she does. This is where she shines. These are where her gifts are. She brings to the world, to us as women, and actually all our families, because, beyond women, our husbands, our partners, our kids, our everybody, happy
Friends.
women, friends, yeah, all everybody, our
Yeah.
pets, even, right? When we're happier, our pets are happier too. So it's so important. And so Kelley is an expert. She's a nurse practitioner who is going to, I'm going to let her do the intro. And Kelley, I want you to tell everybody, what your background is, and tell us about where you're working at Cornerstone, and what an amazing place that is for women, and how you are part of supporting women there. And um, we are going to get into talking more about all the symptoms of perimenopause, menopause, and beyond, and give you some hope and give you some ways to reach out to Kelley so that you can actually have somebody. I always say we want to curate the best. The people in our front row of our life are the ones that are here to support us and help us be the best versions of ourselves, right? And
Right.
I do that through my coaching. Kelley does that through her menopause support, and so much more. So Kelley, take it away, and then we're gonna jump right in, and we have so much good information to share today.
So I'm Kelley DeFilippis. I am a nurse practitioner. I have been in the healthcare sphere for like 25 years or more. I am a menopause specialist, perimenopause, hormones, whatever you want to call it. I got in, and I am with Cornerstone Wellness in Robinson. You can go to our website, www.cornerstonewell.com, and check out our entire menopause hormone team. We have not only myself, but we also have a registered dietitian. We have a physical therapist. We have a therapist who specializes in sleep. We have a intimacy relationship therapist. We have red light therapy. We have massage therapy. Name it, we have it. We have 30 providers who are ready to help women not only women, and we see, I don't, but the therapists see kids and husbands and everybody, but we have a dedicated team of women ready to help other women with whatever aspect of your health that you need. And if we don't have it at our facility, we know somebody who does. So we also have like a podiatrist, that we also have a sleep, a dentist who specializes in sleep, appliances for like sleep apnea instead of having to wear a CPAP. So we have other people that we also kind of collaborate with, that if we don't have it directly at Cornerstone Wellness, then we know somebody who we can send you to.
Amazing. It's an amazing place, and you're such an incredible addition, and they're amazing women. I've met them. I went to their open house. It's a beautiful place. They're beautiful women. It's such a warm and welcoming place. And I'm so happy I know about it because of you now. So, and this is in Robinson, and they have one in Beaver too, I believe.
Yeah.
You're in the Robinson.
I'm only at the Robinson location. Yeah, that's a 40-minute drive for me already. So.
Yeah, I know you do. You do put the miles on the car.
I do. I put the miles on the car. My taxes think me.
For sure. So listen, we were kind of fired up before we got on here today, right?
Yeah,
because we are. Well, tell us what wakes you up in the morning. When you wake up in the morning, what gets you fired up to get there and put your feet on the ground and get out and spread? Because you are passionate about this, and you are and I am too, and I don't have the skills and knowledge to be able to help the women the way you can, but that I want to have you on every week, so that because I also want to help the women through you. So you're the conduit that we get to do this. And the reason, you tell us why you're so fired up to help women to take charge of their health right now.
Well, part of it stems from the fact that I, as a nurse practitioner, as a medical provider, was not educated surrounding perimenopause, menopause, hormones. And whenever I was going through my own symptoms, and was seeing, my primary care doctor, I was going to a neurologist, I was, on medication for anxiety, depression. I was taking injections. I was seeing one of the leading headache specialists in the country. Wow. I was doing injections to help with migraines. My hip hurt, but nothing was wrong with it. So part of it is because of my own journey and the fact that it was difficult for me as a medical provider to know what was wrong with me and how to get help. That once I did, and I got on hormone replacement therapy, thanks to the collaboration that my doctor collaborated with me instead of, and decided, oh, this is something to look into, as opposed to being completely opposed to it. And okay, let's do this and see if it helps you. And it's literally changed my life. Because there's no way 5 years ago I'd be doing this. I was a shell of myself, but that's what lights me, is if I didn't know as a medical provider what was going on with me, how is any other woman supposed to know what's going on with her? So my biggest goal is to just get information out there, get women educated, get them curious, get them to go, wait, so, maybe our hormones aren't bad for us just because we're 50. No, they're not. And to just spark a light into people, to not only patients, but doctors and other nurse practitioners and whoever you are, to spark a light in you, to give you that curiosity that maybe, just maybe, we've been misinformed for the last 20 years.
Yes.
And it's not a maybe. We have.
It's not
a maybe.
No, you know what? No. There is like righteous anger here, and we're not victims, and now we're not going to shut up about it. I hear people say, "Oh, everybody's talking so much about menopause. Yeah, enough." And I'm like, "Are you kidding? We're just getting started." So
and it's all these people are talking about menopause now like it's something. It is something. It is something. It's not. There's not a maybe to it. It definitely is something, and it affects every single system of a woman's body. And it should really be called what it is, which is hypogonadism. If a man's testosterone level is low and he's diagnosed with hypogonadism, guess what he gets? He gets testosterone. But a woman loses all of her hormones from her ovaries because she's ran out of eggs, and we call it menopause. And it really should be called hypogonadism because it's a complete and total loss of all of your hormones.
Yes.
It's the same if a man is castrated. So let me just say this. If a woman is castrated, which is what we call a hysterectomy with her ovaries removed, that's the equivalent to a male having his testicles removed. When a man has his testicles removed, he's given testosterone. But when a woman has her ovaries removed, she's told to deal with it.
Wow. Yeah. Enough. And we've had it. Women were tired of being dismissed. And
sorry. You get a little angry.
Do not apologize. No, we need to.
But that's the equivalent. We do that to men with, men do need sometimes to have their testicles removed, not as much as women get their ovaries removed. But when a man has that happen to him, he's automatically given his hormones. And when a woman has that done to them, they're told to deal with it.
Yeah.
They're not given any solutions. And the thing is that it doesn't just happen to us surgically. It happens to us chemically. It happens to us naturally. We naturally lose our hormones. And that's because we're living well beyond what our bodies were made to. I mean, 100 years ago, we were dead at 50, 55. We're living well into our 70s and our 80s, and we're spending a third of our lives without our hormones. And that comes with health consequences, increased risk of heart disease. 2/3 of the people that have osteoporosis are women. That's not coincidence. That's menopause. 2/3 of the people with dementia are women. That's not coincidence. That's menopause. That is a lack of our hormones. It affects our brain. It affects our bones. It affects our blood vessels, our gut, and every part of us.
Yeah. It's shocking for those of us that are just learning this or didn't know, which is most of us, because this information hasn't been out there. It's shocking.
It is shocking. And to think, because we've been told and we've been indoctrinated that our hormones are just about sex, babies, and periods. And they're not. They're about every single system of our body.
Yeah, amen, sister. And what I've always been, when I was working as a PT, one of my best things I ever did was tell my patients, help to indoctrinate my patients that their body is their body and that their doctors can't answer and do everything for them. It's a collaboration. And I know Kelley is all about collaborating. She is here to support you and to collaborate and to learn about you and what you need. And is it hormone therapy?
No,
is it HRT?
What I tell my patients all the time is this is a partnership.
Yeah.
This is not a dictatorship. I am going to give you the options and I'm going to tell you what I think we should do to help you. But in the end, it is the patient's decision. It is not mine. And so we go at whatever pace the patient wants to, whatever pace the woman wants to, because it's about your health. It's not about mine. It's about your health. And I have the ability to write a prescription and that's what I do. But I also have the ability to educate you, to inform you, to empower you, to make that decision for yourself. Not every woman can have hormones, but the majority of them can, and they should be given the option to use hormone therapy if they choose to.
Yes. And this really is about taking our power back, finding our voice, learning to ask the questions that we haven't asked or didn't even know to ask. And yeah, and there's a whole, we're all here to support
Well, and
all of us to do this together.
yeah, I just had a patient the other day. She's in her 40s, and she had started hormone replacement therapy like a couple months ago, but she had a follow-up appointment with her primary care doctor, and her primary, she's in her 40s. So yeah, she's still having periods. She's perimenopausal. And her doctor goes, well, why are you doing that? Why aren't you just taking birth control? And she's like, because it's not the same thing. And he's like, well, I don't know. If you want to give yourself breast cancer, go right on ahead. And she said, I'm looking for a new doctor.
Yes. That's the answer.
Yeah, that's the answer. Look for somebody who's going to support you in this, not somebody who's going to try to fearmonger you, dictate you, paternalize you,
Exactly. And a lot of the medical community just is not caught up with this yet. And
No,
it doesn't mean that a lot of it will be coming, but we have to lead out for ourselves.
It's going to take a long time. It's going to take, really, honestly, the whole kind of menopause, perimenopause movement has really only been going strong for maybe 2 or 3 years. It started maybe about 5 years ago, and that's whenever I started kind of getting into it. It's going to take, first of all, we have to change the whole education system. Medical residents and doctors and people and, nurse practitioners who are going to school aren't being taught this. And so we have to get the medical providers taught first, and then, to get away from the stigma and away from what we've been indoctrinated to. That's going to take time. Yep. We also have to change the health insurance system to actually recognize perimenopause and menopause as a diagnosis, because right now they're not.
Yes. And we know that it's like, giant ships turning around. It takes a long time. But the good news is we have people like you, Kelley, who are leading from the front, who are educated and staying on top of the current data and the science, who are in practice to be able to write the prescriptions, to partner up, to collect. Like, I'm getting the chills because this is so important. And we don't have to wait.
It's all I do. My husband's like, I don't know how you can read, listen, one more thing about it. And I'm like, because it's always changing. There's always new information. There's always a new retrospective study. There's there's never going to be another big, huge study on menopause and hormones. It costs way too much money. So we have to go back to the studies that we've had for the last 50 years and reanalyze them to show us. And we have tons of data.
Yeah.
We have tons and tons of data that our hormones, the bioidentical hormones, body identical hormones, are safe for us. We have 25 studies showing that there is no increased risk of cancer with body identical estradiol and body identical micronized progesterone and body identical testosterone.
Amazing. And so I've had some questions in my community, women who are saying, just even coming to me when we're having coaching calls and things like that, saying, what is going on with this HRT thing? I'm not feeling good. My doctor doesn't think I should take it. I'm concerned. Does it give me cancer? How do I sort out the information? So can you please kind of do a little bit of a deeper dive on what is HRT? Who is it for everybody? Is it not? What are the contraindications?
So the thing is we're trying to do this in a short amount of time. And in all honesty, this is a very long, there are, there's entire books written on this subject. Here's the newest one, just came out by Kelly Casperson. Highly recommend. So, there's 400 page books that are written on this. So that's why we're going to do this as a series and why we're going to try to, but you can't, so we kind of have to kind of narrow it down a little bit. So let's just say this, there are a few absolute contraindications of why a woman cannot take hormone therapy. And then there are myths as to why a woman can't take hormone therapy. So absolute contraindications. If you're a postmenopausal woman, meaning you've gone a whole entire year without your period and then you have bleeding, you have to investigate what that bleeding is being caused from. You can't do hormones. You can't do hormones without knowing why you're having that bleeding, because if it is from something like an endometrial cancer or from an ovarian cancer or a uterine, something going on with the uterus, you need to know why and what the underlying cause is before you can start on hormone therapy. Most of the time, it's nothing, but you got to rule it out. If you are a woman who is actively being treated for breast cancer, most likely you cannot do hormone replacement therapy, especially if you're on something like an aromatase inhibitor or an estrogen suppression medication that is tampering your own natural estrogen as part of your cancer treatment. Now, again, that's a pretty nuanced conversation. You have to have a lot of deep information. I do have women who have a history of cancer who do take hormones, but it's because of their specific cancer, their specific pathology, their specific treatment that they've had, so that's a really deep conversation. But if you're actively have breast cancer, you're going through treatment, you most likely can't do hormone replacement therapy. Okay. You can't do hormone replacement therapy if you're pregnant.
Makes sense.
That's an absolute contraindication.
Absolutely.
You can't do it if you're pregnant. If you've recently had a heart attack or stroke, meaning very recently, like within the past, 6 months, you can't do hormones. Sometimes, again, very nuanced conversation. If you have severe liver disease, meaning you are have cirrhosis, most of the time, those women, they definitely can't do oral hormone replacement therapy, but sometimes transdermal is okay. And if you have any allergy to not really the hormones, not that you're allergic to the hormones, but maybe you have some allergy to some of the other things that are in the hormones. But then again, there are options for that. Now, women with breast cancer, there are other things that we can do. And every single woman, even if she is actively going through breast cancer treatment, can use vaginal estrogen, because chemotherapy, radiation, the aromatase inhibitors, they wreak havoc on our vagina, our urethra, our whole vulvar area. And those are local hormones. They only work in the vagina, the urethra, the bladder. They do not go systemically into your bloodstream. And those are absolutely perfectly safe for a woman who is actively going through breast cancer and beyond.
Okay.
There are other things that we could do. If you're having hot flashes, there are other medications that we can do. There are non-hormonal options that we can do to treat your symptoms that are either being induced due to your basically chemical castration through aromatase inhibitors, or, afterwards. But again, that's a very deep, nuanced conversation. I mean, there are hundreds of things that we can do to help mitigate the symptoms. Is it the same as putting your hormones back? No, but you can live a better quality of life with these other non-hormonal treatment options.
What an important conversation. So we have a comment here, and she says, Kelley just confirmed my thought about not being able to do HRT as a breast cancer survivor. I'm on aromatase hormone blocker for another 5+ years. And she said, I'm anxious to hear her thoughts on alternatives.
I'm not saying that's a confirmation. It's not a confirmation, because it depends upon the stage, the type, the pathology. Could it be? It could be, but without knowing somebody's the complete and total history, having the path, you can't it's not a blanket statement. I have women who have had breast cancer who do hormone replacement therapy.
Right. And so we're being clear here. You're not giving medical advice here on this show,
No.
on this show.
No, absolutely not.
But
It would need to be a one-on-one patient partnership. But I don't want women to think that just because they've had, that it's an absolute no. It's a nuanced, detailed conversation, health history. It's very detailed.
There's nothing black and white about this.
Nothing black and white about this.
Every woman is different. And
so
you can, go ahead.
So what I was going to say is that kind of leads me into the myths about hormone replacement therapy. The women who have been told that they can't do it because they have a history of breast cancer in their family, because they're BRCA gene positive. Those are myths. Those are not contraindications to hormone replacement therapy. That they've had a history of endometriosis or adenomyosis. Detailed conversation, but is not a contraindication. Migraines with aura is another one. So many women with migraines with aura are told that they absolutely can't do hormone replacement therapy. They can't do oral, but they can do transdermal. I'm one of them. I'm a migrainer. I do and it made an amazing difference on my migraines. A family history of heart disease, liver disease, blood clots. People have been told that they can't do hormones because of those things. Not true. You have high blood pressure, high cholesterol. You can't do hormones. That's not true. You absolutely can. And they can even help improve those things.
And isn't high cholesterol often a symptom for women that never had it before, but that can also be a menopausal symptom?
It is a menopausal symptom. And then the reason is because our body is trying to make more of the hormones that it's missing. And our hormones are derived from cholesterol. So our body produces more cholesterol. We put on fat to make more cholesterol to try in the body's attempt to try to make more hormones.
Interesting.
So it's very common that people who've never had a problem with cholesterol, all of a sudden their cholesterol is going up. And so what happens? Their doctor's like, you need to watch your diet, you need to exercise, and here's a cholesterol medication. My cholesterol, personally, I just looked at it yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I was like, oh, wow. Like, it was really like, I was like, wow, it was really going up. Because I had like a LDL of like in the 30s, in my 30s. And then I watched it. I looked back at my medical records and it wasn't to the point where I needed anything, but I saw it creeping up. And funny, it's back down.
Isn't this, I mean, this alone, how many women are on statin drugs with that? No need to be if it's hormonal related. Okay.
So there's a lot of evidence that statin drugs don't work as well in women as men.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Back onto the myths. You're doing great.
So those are the big ones. You know, I have a family history of breast cancer. I can't do hormones. Wrong. My sister had breast cancer. I can't. Wrong. You know, my great grandmother. You know, or we have a history. There's a history of uterine or ovarian cancer in the family. That's a history that does not. So correlation does not equal causation. Mm-hmm. You know, I can't do it because I have migraines. I can't do it because, here's another big one. I couldn't take birth control, so I can't take hormone replacement therapy. Birth control and hormone replacement therapy, hormone therapy are completely different ends of the spectrum and completely different medications. Just because you didn't do well on birth control has absolutely no influence or impact on whether you'll do well on hormone therapy with bioidentical hormones.
Get educated, women. Buy the books. Go see
Kelley. The books. Buy Estrogen Matters. Get Menopause Moment. Get the new menopause. Get gosh, they're all in my head, but
there's so many.
Yeah, there's so many.
And make a consult with Kelley. So
and come see me.
Yes.
Go to Jen's group. Read my menopause handout.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about that. I wanted to mention that in the beginning. In Totally Awesome You, this is Kelley's 15, 20 page handout that is phenomenal. So, you know, before you read the books, if you don't have time, you think to read the books, start with this.
Is like kind of, this is my handout.
Cliff notes. It's like the Cliff notes. or I'm dating
Kind of a
myself.
compilation of all the books and research and things that I've, that I have in here on paper.
Yep. And you can just go right into Totally Awesome You and get the file. If you're not part of the group, join or let me know and I'll get you the file. It's easy. It's easy for me to send to
Or
you.
find me on Facebook, Kelley DeFilippis. Find me on Instagram, menopause.np. I'll send you the file.
Right. It's worth it. It's a wonderful, wonderful piece of work that you've done there. So, all right, let's talk about why do we want to take it? So if we're, it seems like the vast majority of us are able to take or would fall into the categories where we can take HRT. Why do we want to? What's it going to do for us? And do you have any stories to share about how women's lives have been changed besides our own?
besides my own. So there's one patient that has really impacted me. I started seeing her probably back in December or January. And when she first came into my office, she was just down. Her face was drawn. She was hurting. She was so afraid because she had been having heart palpitations, and she has a history of hypothyroidism, of thyroid issues, and her doctors kept blaming her thyroid for her symptoms. She's in her 40s. I don't know exactly right now, but she's in her 40s, at least 45, and had been having just ups and downs with her thyroid for the past 5 years, and just feeling kind of worse and worse. To the point where she was having these heart palpitations all the time. She went to her primary care, who sent her to a cardiologist. She wore a heart monitor for a month. They didn't find anything. And so then the cardiologist is like, we'll go to an electrophysiologist who deals with the electrical circuitry of the heart. The electrophysiologist, and mind you, this is months. And in the meantime, we started her on hormone therapy, but she was just so sad looking and spoke in a monotone voice, and just,
it's heartbreaking.
It is. It's just so heartbreaking. So everything was, the electrophysiologist, like, there's nothing I can do, like your heart monitor and stuff, like all the tests that we're running aren't showing anything. And I said to her, and she goes, what do I do? What do I do? What's wrong with my heart? And I go, look, there's nothing wrong with your heart. You've had all this testing and everything done. Let's get you on some hormones, because not only are you having heart palpitations, you're having anxiety, and you're not sleeping, and your skin is itchy, and your vagina hurts, and you're having terrible brain fog. You're afraid you have dementia. Like, let's start you on hormone replacement therapy. So we did. And in the very beginning, she had some, sorry, I got a gnat. So she had some like breast tenderness with it. I'm like, it's going to go away. She had some bleeding, like, it's going to go away. And so here we are, just last month, I saw her again. She laughed.
Oh, awesome.
She was smiling. Her whole complexion and demeanor were different. And she hasn't had heart palpitations in 3 months.
Wow.
And she's like, I have my life back.
Yes. Wow.
And that's why I do what I do, because that's my goal, is to give women their life back. They're struggling. They haven't been heard. They're tossed around to doctor looking for answers. And all they want is just to feel like themselves again. And I know what that feels like, because I lost myself. I was a shell of myself. I didn't feel like myself. And I got my life back. And I want to give that to other women. And she's just one out of the hundreds of women that I have treated that's all of their stories. The stories are different. The symptoms are different. But I just had another patient just recently. She's only been on hormone replacement for 8 weeks. And she's like, I'm like totally 180 from the way I was feeling before.
Yeah.
I tell women all the time, like, this is going to change your life. I tell them that almost every single person in the very first visit, this is going to change your life. Is it going to be instantaneous? No. Is it going to take us time to get it right? Yes, but it is going to change your life. And I know they sit there on the other side of the table looking at me thinking, yeah, right, lady, sure it is. And it's amazing whenever it does. And that might be 8 weeks. It might be 16 weeks. It might be, because it takes time to get things right. And I don't have a magic ball to tell me what dose is right for any particular woman. And I don't have lab tests that tell me exactly how much a woman needs. It is trial and error. And what I try to remind women is this has been happening to your body for years.
Yep.
It is not going to take me years to fix it, but it is not going to be fixed instantaneously. Sometimes things get worse before they get better. But if you stick with me, I will get you to the other side. I will get you to where I am. I will get you to feel better.
Yes. Yes.
I've
Yes.
done it for hundreds of women.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's amazing. It brings it. I have to hold back tears. And I want to get a sign for my office that says, "We cry in here, we laugh in here, we hug in here, we cuss in here."
Yep.
Like,
hell yes.
And because we do, most visits, the very first visit, we're crying. We cry.
I'll tell you, it just is astonishing. And I think for a lot of us, it is shocking. And I think that we have there's probably a lot of us that have skepticism because we've been indoctrinated, in a certain way. And all of a sudden we're hearing these 80 plus symptoms out there, that, from the mouth ulcers to heart palpitations to increased high cholesterol to crawling skin, dry eyes. But
burns when you pee. You can't have sex because it hurts. I mean,
and that it's just a normal factor of aging. It is not. It does not need to be. It doesn't need to be.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be. So menopause is mandatory. Every single woman, you're going to go through it. Whether that is naturally, whether it's surgically, whether it's like, we're all going to go through menopause if we live long enough.
Yep.
It's going to be a third of your life. We do not need to suffer with it. Menopause is mandatory. The suffering is optional.
Yep, that's great. Menopause is mandatory. The suffering is optional. There are so many resources out there for us now, and it's time for us to
treatments,
seek them out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just, and I'm a huge advocate and proponent for hormone replacement therapy, for hormone therapy. I'm a huge proponent of putting back our estradiol, our progesterone, and our testosterone. But if those are absolute not options for you, I got a whole other bag of non-hormonal options and tricks also.
That's amazing. And so people that are skeptical come in and they talk with you and you collaborate. And if they're not ready for HRT, or if it's not a fit, you have other options and choices for them.
But here's okay, real quick question. If there was a medication that would reduce your risk of osteoporosis by 60%, reduce your risk of heart disease by 25 to 50%, reduce your risk of diabetes by 30 to 40%, reduce your risk of dementia by 30 to 40%, reduce your risk of urinary tract infections by 85%. Would you take that medication?
Hell yes.
We have it.
I do take it. Yes. I love it.
That's the thing. If there was, when we put it to people like that,
mind blowing.
There is something. There is something. It's called your estradiol, your progesterone, and your testosterone.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
There's nothing to be afraid of. And you don't need to believe me. Like, don't make me your sole source. Like, look up Dr. Karen Men, who is an OBGYN and a cancer survivor. Look up Dr. Mary Claire Haver, who is an OBGYN and menopause specialist. Look up Dr. Kelly Casperson, who is a urologist and a huge person in this menopause space. Look up Dr. Louise Newson, who's from the UK and is one of the pioneers in menopause. Look up Dr. Avram Blooming and read his book, Estrogen Matters. Like, I don't expect women to just believe me, because
nor should they, right? We should all do our own research.
There are so many people now. There are so many, but I know it's hard to kind of sift through the good people, the really knowledgeable people, and the people who are just like clickbait and who are, it's a tough thing to navigate.
Although you've provided names just now, and you've provided names in your resource and different books, and we know who the people are that we would highly recommend.
One of the absolute best podcasts I've ever watched was with Dr. Peter Attia and Dr. Rachel Rubin. She's a urologist. He's a doctor in longevity, and it's 2 hours long, but it is one of the best podcasts and the best conversations regarding how we have been misled, mistreated. It's an amazing podcast. It's Dr. Peter Attia's podcast, The Drive, with him and Dr. Rubin.
All right, I'll look for it and see if I can link it to the Totally Awesome You group too. And I love Dr. Attia, and I love Dr. Rachel Rubin as well. Yeah. So she's a urologist, right?
She's a urologist. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And she spoke with and another great thing to look up, gosh, so many resources, is the FDA's meeting that they had on hormone replacement therapy. If you go to YouTube and you just click in FDA hormones, it'll come up. It too is 2 hours long. But a lot of the leaders in this space and the brains in this space spoke to the FDA about getting this to change. And we need to know that. We need to know that these things are happening.
Yep. And it's up to each one of us. It's not up to Kelley. It's not up to me. It's up to you. It's up to each one of us to be the best advocate for our own health. Mm-hmm. And if that means it does mean educating ourselves. And if that means educating our doctors, which it often does, or finding new doctors.
Doctor, my handout, tell them to call me.
And Kelley is, so let me ask you this. So Darlene posted this, and this might be, what I'm going to suggest is, I think, Darlene, reach out to Kelley, but I don't know if you have anything that you could quick answer on this or not, but she says, my sister and I have hereditary cholesterol issues. We don't take statins. Curious about her take on the calcium score as an indicator of heart issues versus high cholesterol.
Absolutely recommend a calcium score.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And Darlene, reach out to Kelley.
I order them for patients, or it's a much better indicator of heart disease than just a cholesterol numbers. Tells you if there's calcium. It tells you if there's blockages that are happening. Yeah, absolutely. I think it should be the new gold standard to do it on everybody, but
we have insurance company led medicine. So there's that. Right. So that's probably the obstacle, right?
That's the problem. Your insurance is not a necessary evil. Insurance is not into the business of preventing anything. Insurance, just like your homeowner's insurance, right? Like, you can't use your homeowner's insurance because you need a new roof unless it was severely damaged by hail. Your health insurance is the same thing. It's really for catastrophes.
I never thought about it like that.
It's not really there to help keep you healthy. That's your job. Your insurance is there in case something big happens, to help with it. So we rely on health insurance like it's supposed to keep us to help keep us healthy, but it's really just like your homeowner's insurance. It's there if something big happens to pay for it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I never thought about it like that. That makes perfect sense. So
or your car insurance. Your car insurance doesn't pay for your oil change.
That's right. Your
car insurance only pays if you hit somebody hits you, you're in a big accident. Yeah. That's when it works. Your health is really the same way.
And there's nothing more important than our health. And I think, so many of us have been taught to kind of outsource and give away our power, and everybody else knows better. Yes, thank God for health practitioners that do
Yeah.
have the knowledge, but they don't know our bodies. We also, I can't say enough about finding a collaborative health provider that is Kelley, or somebody else like Kelley. But you deserve this. You deserve
Well,
this. And enough being dismissed and
yeah.
patronized by doctors. No
Yeah.
freaking more.
I also want people to be aware, though, that there are a lot of how do I want to say it? I'll just say it the way I'm going to say it. Also want people to be aware that there are a lot of predatory sort of people out there looking to make a buck off of menopause. So if you decide, if you come to me, great. If you don't, that's okay. I get it. But don't go. You need to be aware of some red flags if you go someplace. If you go someplace, most of us don't take insurance as a menopause specialist. And that's because they're not recognized diagnoses. Perimenopause, menopause are not recognized diagnoses by Medicare or your insurance. So frankly, we wouldn't get paid. So, but some things to be kind of aware of that might be red flags is if you go someplace and you can only use their lab. They won't use your insurance for lab work or for testing. If you go someplace and they're not going to use your insurance to prescribe your medications, to prescribe the bioidentical hormones, or you have to get the hormones from them. If they're only offering pellets, please run. Those are, one, not FDA approved. Two, they are high physiological doses most of the time of the hormones that could potentially be dangerous. We don't know because we don't have studies on those doses. If they're asking you to pay, an exorbitant amount of money, if they're asking you to pay them, thousands of dollars, and you have to come in every 6 months, and they're wanting to do all these crazy like labs looking at, I don't know. Be aware of the red flags. Be aware of what is out there, because there are a lot of, I don't want to say imposters, but there's a lot of people out there doing this and claiming to manage your hormones with supplements. There is not a supplement. There is not an exercise. There is not a meditation that is going to get you to avoid menopause or help with it.
So be discerning is what you're saying. And because there's a lot of, maybe some nefarious folks jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah. So bioidentical people get all crazy about this whole bioidentical thing, thinking that you can only get them from a compounded pharmacy. Compounding pharmacies are great, but let me tell you what they do. I love a compounding pharmacy. I use one for my testosterone, because there is no FDA approved dose of testosterone for women. But they take the FDA approved medications and put it into a cream or a troche or a way to deliver it to you. They're not in there. People have this misconception that they're in there making these hormones. No, they're not in there making them. They are taking what is already FDA approved and putting it into different formulations or different dosages. And I wish I had them here with me, but I don't. There's plenty of pharmaceutical companies that make these bioidentical hormones. They are called estradiol, micronized progesterone, or permetrium. And there are brand names, Dottie, Viveldot. Those are the ones that are just popping to my head. Those are covered by your insurance.
Yeah. And that's what I wanted to clarify. HRT is typically covered by insurance with the progesterone.
Testosterone isn't.
That's right.
Testosterone isn't, because there is no FDA approved dose of testosterone for women. So I use a compounding pharmacy, and they take the male version and they dilute it down into the female version. So for example, a beginning dose of testosterone for a man is 25 milligrams. A woman needs a tenth of that dose. So what the compounding pharmacy does is they dilute that down so that the woman is getting 2.5, 5, or 10 milligrams of testosterone. In the United States, we don't have testosterone for women. Australia does, New Zealand does, the UK does, but we don't.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's interesting. I've been using compounded testosterone for a little while, and I went to a new OBGYN last year, and, give her credit because she's been in the business for a long time, but she said, "Why are you taking testosterone?" And she was willing to let me explain to her, and educate her. And she said, "I really need to learn more because things are really changing." I know. I said, "Wow. Yeah. Awesome." And
yay! We got one.
I know. Yeah. I went to her for a completely different reason. It wasn't, because I've already taken charge of my hormone care and realized that I need to be with people who are up to speed and up to date with the research and so forth. So, but I gave her credit because it was a good conversation, and she was
didn't
open.
just poo-poo you. She thought, is there something to this? Maybe I need to look into it.
She did, and she's been in practice for 30 years. So,
and that's what we need. We need doctors to get curious.
Absolutely.
We need providers we need practitioners. We need the medical people that take care of us to get curious about this and not just poo-poo us and tell us, well, what are you trying to do?
That's right.
I mean,
yeah. And we also,
patients I've had tell me that's what their doctor said.
Yeah, and people get nervous about, and about like going to the doctor and have the doctor questioning them. That can be nerve-wracking. And
it makes them. What happens is women start to doubt themselves, like, oh, well, crap, maybe I shouldn't really be doing this. Right. Like, oh, wait a minute, he's saying, what am I trying to do? Get myself cancer? Like, oh, maybe I mean, I've had women quit because of that.
Yep.
I've also had women not use their vaginal estrogen because of the labeling that the FDA has on there. I tell women to just throw it in the trash because it's all not true.
They're changing that label, aren't they?
They're working on it. That's what that whole, remember I said about seeing that FDA
presentation.
Part of it was because of the mislabeling on vaginal estrogen.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So don't believe everything you hear, but be discerning, get educated, talk to Kelley. Absolutely. I belong to a bunch of moms groups and on Facebook and things like that. And I just was reading about someone who just was like, please, sisters, help me. I have temperature regulate. My body it wasn't hot flashes, but she said, I cannot control the temperature of my body. And I know, but my doctors are all dismissing me. I don't even know what to do. I'm really feeling desperate. And I felt, I reached out to her and gave her your information, and I don't know if she'll reach out or not, but I think solidarity, we have to come together and and nobody, Kelley, nobody's telling you exactly, what you have to do. We're giving you options. We're giving you, get curious about your health, and don't doubt your own intuition.
I am going to be, I will be overly, I don't want to say overly aggressive, but overly assertive that about hormone, because I'm a huge proponent and advocate for hormone replacement therapy. So you are going to hear a lot about that out of my mouth because, well, one, because it changed my life and it's changed hundreds of my patients' lives. So you will hear a lot about it out of me, but it's not the only, it's not the only option, but it's the best option. It is safe and effective treatment for female hypogonadism, otherwise known as menopause.
Yeah. Okay. It can make a difference for each and every one of us in some way, shape. But these conversations are making the difference. And HRT for most of us, literally, is a game changer. So I stand by it with my own personal experience as well. And Kelley with her personal and professional experiences with it. So reach out, Kelley, tell them where they can find you, best way to connect with you, and how that works when they do reach out. What happens?
So if you want to reach out to me, you can you can call the office 724-371-0177. You could go to our website, www.cornerstonewell.com. You can reach out to me on Facebook, send me a message. I don't care. Like I'm pretty open. I'm Kelley DeFilippis on Facebook. You can find me there. I'm on Instagram at menopause.np. You can reach out to me that way. If you want, I do 15-minute free consultations with patients so that you can write down your questions and ask them to me and I answer them. And then you can decide if you want to work with me or not. My first visit with patients is 90 minutes long. All follow-ups are 60 minutes, 30 to 60 minutes, depending on really how you feel. Typically the first couple follow-ups are usually always 60 minutes. Once you're on your stable HRT, it's usually 30. But when we are adjusting hormones and we're getting you to feel your best, we usually have hour follow-up visits, because that's the type of time it takes. And I have a bunch of other things. Like I said, it's not just hormones. I mean, we talk about your sexual health. We talk about, everything. So yeah, I mean, reach out to me on Facebook, Kelley DeFilippis, Instagram, menopause.mp. Go to our website, check out our entire hormone and wellness team. Because it's not just me doing this. I mean, I do the hormones and the menopause part, but menopause encompasses so many different parts of us. And we have people to help you with all of that. Most of the other providers can be maybe covered by insurance, depending. It just depends. That's nuanced conversation and individual, but they do take insurance. I just can't. I wouldn't get paid.
Yeah, no, well, we don't want that. So
I mean, I want to help you, but I also want to keep my house. So
of course, and you deserve to 100%. So this is, thank you, Kelley, for everything and for all that you do for women and for bringing your light and your passion and your gifts to the world, and for reminding us that, well, menopause is, it's going to happen, but the suffering is optional. And not only that, I love to, I work with midlife women. That's who I am. It's what I do. And midlife is not a crisis. It is an opportunity to expand into and awaken. That's my life as a transformational coach, is working with women to remind them, you know what, I'm not done. There's a whole nother chapter or several. And it starts with feeling good in our bodies and our minds. And so reach out.
Tell you, because so many women will come in and be like, it's the weight. And I go, you feel like you're trudging through mud every day. It's hard to get out of bed on a daily basis. You're putting your purse in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
You cannot, you cannot focus on nutrition and exercise until, or all of these other things, until you don't feel like every day is a mountain to climb. That you are walking around with concrete boots on, that you are trudging through mud every day. You can't focus on all of the things all at once. So let's get you, because I will tell you, for me, it was hard to get even out of bed every day, let alone focus on anything else. Going to work was the major accomplishment of my day. And getting out of bed was a major accomplishment. So we got to get you feeling better before you can tackle all the other stuff too.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, working, with doubt and fear, absolutely. When our health is not, when our bodies are seemingly betraying us and we're not getting the answers that we want, we truly can spiral in the doubt and fear cycle. I see it all the time. I experienced it myself, and we really start to, you can go into some dark states and dark times, and then all these gifts that you have left, that we have left to bring to the world, they get put to the side, and that is a tragedy. So we have got to come together as sisters here to elevate and support each other so that we can create the best versions of ourselves, and that's what we are here doing. So thank you Amazing. I can't wait to see who else we'll be back. We're going to keep doing this. We have another one coming up in a couple of weeks. Send us your questions. What do you want to talk about? Maybe we'll I don't know. We'll bring some other people on if you want to. Like, I don't know. We're kind of just doing it as it goes. But we want to know. What do you want to know? What else do you want to go more in depth about? What can we talk about?
Can I plug something real quick?
Okay. Oh yes, please. I wanted to do that. Yes, do it.
Can I put out a plug? So September 28th, at the Panera in Washington, up by the Sam's Club. I'm going to be doing an in-person talk. I think we have that area booked in Panera for 2 hours. I'm sure Jen will post it on the group.
It's in the group already, but I'll post it again.
Already. We are asking that you go to, so it's going to be me, but I also have my dear friend and patient, Jessica, who is a massage therapist, who is going to tell her story and how she was feeling, and how hearing me at a little talk that I did changed her life. And she's also going to tell her story, but really good opportunity for education. Everyone there will get my handout. And just, we're going to give you a little snack, but we want you to get a ticket off of Eventbrite. It's linked. It should be linked. And that's just so we know how many people are showing up. Even if they are all sold out, those are just for, or all, not that they're free. But even if we do have standing room, but that's just so that you can have a seat, because a lot of people want to take notes.
Yeah.
And so there's 25 seats available. We have 12 or 13 left. And
awesome
opportunity to come.
Go see Kelley live. I won't be in town, or I'd come.
But hear from a patient also whose life has, hear her story and her life and what's happened with her.
Right.
It was her idea.
It's a great idea. It's great because, I mean, when the light has gone out of us and it comes back again, because of all this new knowledge and because HRT, I mean, you just want to shout it to the world, and make a difference for everybody, and that's what we're here doing. So
I think we just want to stop the suffering in women.
Heck yeah. No more.
My patients are like, can we do that? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, because they just want to be part of helping stop the suffering because they feel so much better.
Amazing. Important mission. Let's keep going. And thanks to all who are watching this on replay and who showed up live. So it's a wrap. Kelley,
it's a wrap.
That was fun. Love it, girl. All right. And we're out.